Good afternoon from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Joel Norwood with today's Ag News. It's pretty clear in agriculture that 2025 shaping up to be a belt-tightening year with regard to finances. And unfortunately, the latest trade forecast for fiscal year 2025 not helping matters. USDA Chief Economist Seth Meyer has highlights.
So this is the first forecast for fiscal year 25. What this report indicates is a decline of $4 billion into $169.5 billion for exports, an increase of $8 billion on imports to a total of $212 billion for fiscal year 25, which means a rising trade deficit of $42.5 billion forecast for fiscal year 25. Up from a revised $30.5 billion trade deficit the prior year. That's on the order of about 35% increase in the trade deficit.
At first look at the report, could be promising. Export volumes increasing. It comes with low prices, which more than offsets it.
A lot of this is tied to falling commodity prices and the world getting much more comfortable with where supplies of corn, beans, wheat, cotton, all are relative to where we were at perhaps between 2020 and 2023. Yes, volumes are up a little bit, but that's because in order to move product, a more abundant product, you're having to see some price declines to move some of that stuff out the door.
Again, USDA Chief Economist Seth Meyer talking about the latest fiscal year 2025 ag export forecast just released from USDA. And elsewhere, some exciting news for those growing wheat. HB4 wheat, a drought-tolerant, genetically modified wheat variety, can now be safely grown and bred in the United States, according to the USDA Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. It's the latest green light and a long-time coming moment for genetically modified wheat. The agency's determination makes the U.S. the fourth country in the world to greenlight production of HB4 wheat, following Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay. Specifically, again, this wheat variety is better against drought and is also tolerant to the glufosinate herbicide. The latest numbers out from DTN's retail fertilizer trend tracker showing prices continue to be mostly lower in the third full week of August. One fertilizer, though, was slightly higher compared to a month before. No significant changes, which is anything 5% or more. Potash did drop below the $500 per ton level for the first time since the first week of July 2021. Back then, the price was $4.91 per ton. The only fertilizer that was slightly higher, DAP, it had an average price of $7.45 per ton. Now, do keep in mind those are national averages. What you're going to get at your local retailer is fairly different. Fertilizer prices down, but anybody on the beef side of things know that it's a high time for beef prices. As the end of summer gets closer and closer, we typically see a demand for beef fall as well. But this year's a unique one with lower cattle supplies, meaning that prices could remain elevated for consumers and farmers alike. Barrett Nelson is an economist for the American Farm Bureau Federation.
Beef prices set records in the month of July. If we take a look at USDA and ERS's estimates for the all-fresh beef value, that all-fresh value for the month of July was $8.15 per pound. Now, this is important because it marks the first time in the history of data collection here that the all-fresh average moved above $8. So we had a lot of cuts that have moved up in price, especially through that July timeframe.
Nelson tells us supply of cattle will remain tight for the foreseeable future because of the long-term nature of the cattle production cycle, meaning costs will remain high right now.
So to get the forces driving this beef, it is mostly the low inventory. And this goes back several years. We've been talking about this since 2020. And as these prices have improved, there's business incentives for farmers to keep selling cattle. And that's kept us contracting or moving along in this contraction phase of the cattle cycle.
Barrett Nelson of the American Farm Bureau, he says, do keep in mind that though there's higher prices in the meat case, that doesn't necessarily make its way back to the farmer. Most gains will go to the packer. Quick reminder, Ohio AgNet will be at the Hancock County Fair Thursday, thanks to Nutrient Ag Solutions and the Hancock County Farm Bureau. Stop out and see us, and stay tuned. We'll be right back with markets after this.
Soybeans grown in Ohio and across the heartland are meeting the feedstock demand for clean fuels. Biodiesel is a clean-burning and reliable fuel that enhances engine life, power, and mileage. Plus, this high-performance fuel works in any diesel engine without modification. With biodiesel, we fuel the economy, do good for the environment, and support soybean farmers. Learn how using biodiesel can add value to every bushel of soybeans grown at soyohio.org.
After Wednesday's trade, we're seeing corn and soybeans down, wheat up though, with September corn dropping 2 cents to $3.65 1/4. New crop corn $3.90 3/4 per bushel, down 2 cents as well. September beans off 9 pennies today to $9.58 1/2, with November new crop beans off 9.5 cents to $9.77. If you hold on to those until March 2025, though, you'll get $10.09 3/4 as of today, down 8 cents. July 2025 wheat 6.5 pennies up to $5.79 1/2. This look at markets thanks to Seed Consultants, simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. September feeders 63 cents lower to a price of $241.30. October hogs 81.68 per hundredweight, down 40 cents, and milk dropping close to 50 cents today. This is the Ohio AgNet.